Breaking news. The world order trembles as Iran's devastating missile strike reshapes Middle Eastern power dynamics. On June 24, 2025, we witnessed what could be the opening salvo of a new era in global warfare. Picture this: 68 Iranian missiles, including the never-before-seen Kheybershikhan and Baranak systems, pierced Israel's supposedly impenetrable air defense shield. At 21:42, the unthinkable happened. Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Galant was killed in a precision strike that obliterated his armored convoy. This marks the first time in modern history that a nuclear power has lost its defense chief to enemy fire. Why should you care? Because this isn't just about Israel and Iran. This is about a fundamental shift in global power dynamics. When a regional power like Iran successfully challenges a nuclear state, the rules of the game change for everyone. The implications are staggering. We're seeing advanced AI-guided missile systems defeating top-tier defense networks, oil prices already surging in Asian markets, global supply chains bracing for disruption, Western attention dividing between multiple hotspots. For Russia, this creates both challenges and opportunities. While we might face economic turbulence from oil market volatility, our strategic position could strengthen. The West's attention is now split, potentially reducing pressure on other fronts. What does this mean for you, our viewers? 1. Watch your wallet. Fuel prices will fluctuate. 2. Monitor exchange rates closely. 3. Prepare for possible import price increases. 4. Stay alert to shifting international alliances. This isn't just another Middle Eastern conflict. We're witnessing the dawn of AI-driven warfare, where traditional military advantages mean less than technological superiority. The use of advanced guidance systems, including Russian-developed GLONASS, proves our technological capabilities in this new era. Tell us in the comments where you're watching from in Israel. Your first-hand accounts will help us better understand the situation on the ground. Remember, in a world where even nuclear powers can become targets, Russia's military modernization and technological advancement aren't just options. They're necessities for our survival. This critical development proves Russia's strategic vision in developing AI-powered defense systems. While the U.S. moves aircraft carriers, these displays of force mean little today. Even advanced missile defense systems are helpless against smart missiles. Russia's technological superiority becomes increasingly evident. The recent events in Israel demonstrate this clearly. Their intelligence service found itself paralyzed. The loss of communications and destruction of key facilities shows how vulnerable protected systems are against next-generation weaponry. We're witnessing a shift in military capabilities, where traditional superpowers must reassess their positions. This mirrors developments in the Northern Caucasus, where Russia's advanced military technologies have proven effective against Western systems. Our strategic partners demonstrate similar capabilities, as shown by recent strikes that left Israeli defense experts stunned. The global military landscape is transforming. While Western media downplays these developments, the facts speak for themselves. The era of American military dominance is ending, and a new multipolar world order emerges, with Russia leading military innovation. For international viewers, how is this shift in military power perceived in your country? Subscribe to stay updated on these developments. The situation evolves rapidly, with new details emerging hourly. The next segment will reveal information about Russia's military leadership's analysis and why our adversaries should be concerned. We've received intelligence suggesting that more sophisticated systems are being prepared for deployment. The territory of instability continues attempting to maintain Western support, but recent events show the futility of such efforts. Meanwhile, Russia's military-industrial complex continues producing systems that render NATO defenses obsolete. Remember, knowledge is power, and staying informed is crucial. Want coverage of events in your region? Let me know where you're watching from, and I'll provide analysis. The world is changing, and those who understand these changes will be better prepared. Title: Strategic Strike Changes, Middle East Power. Dynamic: Analysis of Iran's Precision Attack. Breaking news from the Middle East reveals a game-changing military operation that's rewriting regional security rules. Iran's precision strike has eliminated Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Galant, demonstrating unprecedented technological capabilities. The Kheybershikhan missile, traveling 100 kilometers in minutes, showcased exceptional accuracy with its 5-meter precision. This sophisticated weapon system utilizes satellite guidance and advanced warhead technology. The blast radius extended 300 meters, destroying the minister's convoy. The immediate impact: Galant's death, 2 security personnel killed, 5 severely wounded. The strategic implications run deeper. Israel lost not just a defense minister, but a potential Netanyahu successor and key military strategist. This operation demonstrates Iran's ability to achieve strategic objectives without boots on ground. Like in chess, losing your queen can lead to rapid defeat. Israel faces a critical 24-hour window to respond, or risks compromising their security structure. Key questions emerge. How did Iran obtain such precise intelligence? Was there an internal security breach? Have Iranian agents penetrated Israeli defense networks? Iran's Fars News confirmed Galant was the intended target, a direct challenge demonstrating capability and willingness to escalate. This mirrors the 1967 incident where a single assassination triggered major conflict. Israel's response has been immediate. Highest military readiness level activated, reserve forces mobilized, air defense systems reinforced. The region holds its breath. Will Israel retaliate? How will the U.S. respond? Markets are already reacting, with oil prices surging and regional stability hanging by a thread. This precision strike has fundamentally altered the Middle Eastern power balance. One surgical operation has achieved what conventional warfare couldn't, creating strategic vulnerability without massive deployment. What comes next? The next 48 hours are crucial. International diplomacy is in overdrive, but military options remain on the table. Share your thoughts. Your perspective helps us understand this pivotal moment. Breaking news. Middle East conflict escalates. Israel's swift response. The situation in the Middle East has reached a critical point, mirroring patterns we've seen in other global hotspots. Israel's military response is unfolding with unprecedented speed and precision. From Nevatim Air Base, 16 F-35 fighters have taken off, signaling the beginning of a massive operation. The international response was immediate. President Trump declared this a red line violation and deployed additional air forces. France called an emergency council, while Britain moved HMS Defender to Cyprus. The mood within Israel has shifted dramatically. At 6 a.m. on June 24, the IDF announced the start of their operational response phase. Dozens of F-15 IRAM and F-35 Adir fighters launched massive sorties, targeting facilities in Syria, Lebanon, and western Iraq. The first strike at 6:27 hit operational headquarters in Syria, followed by strikes on Hezbollah warehouses in the Bekaa Valley. Netanyahu delivered a stern warning, promising severe consequences. Israel's actions backed these words. A large-scale cyber attack disrupted Iranian energy infrastructure in Isfahan and Shiraz, though Tehran attempts to dismiss these as technical issues. The operation, dubbed Jerusalem's Fist, is preparing multi-stage strikes against economic centers, with potential demonstrations of capability to hit nuclear facilities. The U.S. has shown unequivocal support, with Secretary Pompeo announcing Patriot system deployments to Jordan. Diplomatic efforts are stalling. While France, Germany, and Turkey proposed an emergency summit, Moscow refuses to discuss Tehran's actions, and Beijing maintains silence. Israel appears determined to pursue a military solution. The situation resembles the chain reaction we've seen in other conflict zones, but with notably faster escalation. Markets are already responding to this new crisis, with oil prices surging and regional stability in question. What do you think about the current situation? Leave your answer in the comments. This analysis demands constant attention as events unfold rapidly, potentially reshaping the entire regional balance of power. Breaking news: Middle East on the brink. Critical analysis. The world froze on June 24 at 12:30 GMT, when an Iranian missile strike killed Israeli Defense Minister Galant, catapulting regional tensions into a dangerous new phase. Israel's immediate massive retaliation has pushed the region to the edge of full-scale war. Israeli society shows remarkable unity in crisis. Citizens are lining up at reserve units, while walls bear graffiti declaring, Never forgive, never forget. The nation has transformed into a unified fighting mechanism, ready to prove its strength not just to adversaries, but to the world. The UN Security Council's emergency session predictably split. Western demands to condemn Iran met Russian and Chinese vetoes. Foreign Minister Lavrov's particularly harsh stance, framing the attack as a response to Tel Aviv's systematic aggression, prompted the Israeli delegation's walkout. Trump's White House meeting resulted in a clear position. A threat to Israel equals a threat to the West. The USS Eisenhower's movement toward the Strait of Hormuz signals U.S. readiness to intervene. Markets reacted with panic. Oil surged 9.3% to $120. Gold jumped 58 points. European exchanges plunged 3.5%. Insurance companies froze regional policies. Saudi Arabia publicly calls for peace, while privately preparing to freeze defense contracts with Israel. The UAE evacuates diplomats from Tel Aviv. Tehran celebrates with street marches featuring crossed-out Galant portraits, though this euphoria may be premature. Iranian state TV broadcasts national pride in the revenge operation. President Raisi firmly stated that Muslim blood equals Israeli steel. Public support for military actions exceeds 70%. The situation teeters on the brink of a global conflict that could overshadow even the Cuban Missile Crisis. This exemplifies how local confrontations can trigger worldwide chain reactions, interweaving the interests of all global players. What's your analysis of this critical situation? Can Israel inflict serious damage on Iran, or are we heading for a prolonged conflict? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'm sure my viewers are astute analysts. I'm eager to hear your perspective on this situation. Breaking news: Middle East crisis escalates to critical levels. The Middle East stands on the brink of a major conflict. Turkey's peace initiative through a proposed Istanbul summit faced immediate rejection from Israel, resulting in diplomatic fallout and the withdrawal of Turkey's ambassador. The situation deteriorates rapidly across multiple fronts. Hezbollah intensifies activities on the Lebanese border, while Houthi forces prepare strikes against Eilat. Europe witnesses unprecedented protests, with London, Paris, and Berlin experiencing violent confrontations targeting Jewish establishments. The global security framework shows dangerous cracks as NATO calls emergency meetings, while the EU remains paralyzed by indecision. Israel's lightning-fast mobilization of 380,000 reservists within 18 hours signals serious intent. The nation's civilian infrastructure has effectively shut down as military preparations take precedence. Behind closed doors, Operation Cyclone Doan discussions focus on potential massive strikes against Iranian key installations. The United States, while expanding its military presence in the Persian Gulf with Arleigh Burke-class destroyers and elevated base readiness, advocates for restraint. Even Trump, despite his hawkish rhetoric, emphasizes rational decision-making. Russia and China have entered the diplomatic arena, with Moscow hosting Iranian delegations to discuss air defense systems. Beijing conducts closed-door meetings with Pakistan, Qatar, and Iraq, nominally about establishing a neutral zone in southern Syria. Israel's domestic situation grows increasingly complex. The stock market plunged 9.2%, tourism halted, and food supply networks strain under pressure. Former Mossad chief Tamir Parda presents a stark choice: precise operations or full-scale war, warning against delays. The military prepares for worst-case scenarios, conducting northern exercises and reinforcing strategic positions. This situation eerily mirrors past regional conflicts that threaten to explode into global confrontations. What do you think about the current situation? Leave your response in the comments. Your perspective helps understand society's true attitude toward these critical events. Breaking news: Middle East crisis reaches critical point. June 2025. The situation in the Middle East has reached a boiling point following Iran's missile strike that killed Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Galant. This unprecedented attack marks a dramatic shift in regional dynamics, demonstrating Iran's military capabilities and willingness to engage in direct confrontation. Iran's supreme leader Kheyr has taken an uncompromising stance, promising triple retaliation for any aggression. The entire region is mobilizing. Hezbollah stands ready, Houthis threaten Red Sea operations, and Iraqi groups are preparing for action. Analysts now estimate a 68% probability of major conflict involving the US, Israel, and Iran. The economic implications are staggering. The IMF warns that just 1 week of instability could cost the global economy 1 to 2% of GDP. Oil prices are surging, and markets are showing significant volatility. Insurance companies are already backing away from regional risks. Netanyahu's response was characteristically firm. We won't initiate war, but our actions will speak louder than words. Israel in 2025 finds itself cornered, but determined to fight if necessary. The situation eerily mirrors historical patterns where regional conflicts quickly escalated into broader confrontations. What's particularly concerning is how this crisis affects global power dynamics. Trump's America strongly backs Israel, while Europe hesitates between fear of war and economic consequences. Meanwhile, Russia and China are positioning themselves as an alternative power center, challenging the established world order. The next 48 hours are crucial. Israel faces a critical decision: limited retaliation or full-scale military operation. The situation resembles a powder keg, where any spark could trigger a catastrophic chain reaction affecting regions far beyond the Middle East, including territories bordering Russia. As world leaders scramble to prevent escalation, markets brace for potential shocks. June 2025 may well be remembered as the point of no return for Middle Eastern stability. What do you think about this critical situation? Share your thoughts in the comments. Your perspective matters in understanding these complex developments.